Breaking news, breaking news. Here he is, folks. The National Guard shooter. 29-year-old Rahmanullah Lakanwal, and he's from Afghanistan. He came in the country in 2021 as part of the Afghan Withdrawal, the United States troops under the Biden administration. He's a refugee that came to the country in 2021. He's the one that shot 2 National Guard troops in the streets of Washington, D.C. Now, I got some information about him I want to share with you about this story. Kash Patel speaks, and also a little bit of information on his background right here. I'm going to share this with all of you, and then we will further discuss. Check it out.
Here it is. What do you know?
Well, this individual appears to be from Washington State. It appears that he immigrated here into the United States in 2021 as part of the operation to bring Afghanis who had worked with or assisted the United States government over into this country as Afghanistan was beginning to fall.
Don't you all remember the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, where they barely told the people the night, not even the night before, the morning of, that they were going to be evacuating? Remember all the soldiers that died and all the civilians in Afghanistan that worked with the American troops that were executed by the Taliban? Remember the hundreds of millions of dollars in equipment that we left there? The people that were cooperating with the soldiers, with our troops, were put to death. But some of their relatives made it out, a lot of them. Imagine flying over here to a country that's safe, but that same country was responsible for your family members being put to death, children. Remember, they were falling off the planes as they were trying to take off from the tarmac. We gave back that base with all of our equipment in the middle of the night under Joe Biden's failed leadership. This thing is this. We now know who it is, but it's too late. If life's a movie and we're living in the Truman Show right now, then it's kind of predictable what's going to happen. He did not go out and just magically decide to find a weapon, which he's not supposed to have as an immigrant here, and decide to just randomly go after 2 guardsmen. This was coordinated. But we don't know who else he's working with. But magically, coincidentally, it's the day before one of our great national holidays here in America. This is followed by the Charlie Kirk assassination, which is unsolved. The trial hasn't started, and none of us believe the official story. The officials don't believe the official stories. Kash Patel doesn't even believe his own bullshit. We know that. But we are under a string of death and destruction, and now all of a sudden we have what can only be referred to as a sleeper cell that was activated. I love you all as my fellow Americans. I don't know you as individuals, but I do care about your well-being. If you cannot travel by bus, plane, or train, or be anywhere that's crowded tomorrow, I would advise it and appreciate it, because what are the odds that there's just a random one-off the day before a great holiday or 2 days before our Black Friday? Here in America, it's been too peaceful for too long that we've let our guards down. We keep forgetting that the world is filled with monsters that hate us. They don't hate us because of our freedom. They hate us because of our arrogance. They hate us because of how perverted our culture is. And they want to remove our culture and replace it with theirs. And the invasion has already begun. New York, Minnesota, north of Houston and Texas, there's enclaves that are growing. These people were sent here in the last 4 years by the tens of thousands, by the millions. We don't know who they are. These people that flew here from Afghanistan were never vetted. There were no background checks, no clearances. We have no idea who's here. We were getting threatened at the border when people were doing interviews where men with strong accents said, "You don't know my name today, but you will." And we still don't know who that is. And the time to find out is probably upon us. The goal is to destabilize our country and to bring us down brick by brick. The demoralization has already begun. Being able to brazenly attack two of our military in broad daylight without fear and to survive, to go to prison, is a luxury. That man should have been torn to shreds. I don't want to hear his alibi. I don't want to hear his excuse. It's not going to matter until it's too late anyway. If these others are working independently and they've been sitting here finding out ways to carry out mass casualty events, talking to him is not going to help. And there's really no way for us to prevent it. Again, our guards are down. We just had an American shooting on the Las Vegas Strip. What if he didn't stop with just that married couple and he would have just went after anybody he could? You know, that man walked away from the scene and was caught days later. That means we didn't even have enough police in Las Vegas on the Strip to stop a mass shooter if we wanted to. It's just by the grace of God, he wasn't interested in doing a mass shooting. But what if he was? People don't understand what freedom means. To whom much is given, much is required. Freedom also involves and requires responsibility. That's a responsibility to yourself, but also a responsibility to protect your family. We have all failed upon that. And now the monsters are here. We're going to do what we can to try to mitigate the losses, but if we can stay out of public places until we can figure out what's going on and what's happening next, we should. Not that we live in fear, but we also take precaution, because every death at the hands of these sleeper cells and of these monsters, it's going to make the American people more and more afraid, and they are going to pull back. Again, this is a demoralization campaign. You must stay strong. The left, there's a gay population, there's a black population, there's an immigrant population, and they blame conservatives and they blame Trump supporters for all of their problems in the world. These people will literally have zero problem siding with these sleeper cell terrorists to target us and go against us. Again, when someone tells you they're an American, you're going to have to ask them what kind. Just because we all speak English, we know the terrain, and we were born in the same country does not mean that we're on the same team. Again, we're coming off of already multiple assassinations. Our politics are in turmoil. Everything's not looking good, and they want to keep the chaos going. If they waste this horrible event and don't follow it up right away, I'd be completely surprised. But that's not how it works. If this is a movie, if this is like it is on Netflix, you're going to be living a Netflix movie for the next few years. These people, there's enough of them who don't care about their life, and they believe that in their religion, the more people they take out as infidels, the further they're going to get in the afterlife. They're kamikaze. Now, when we had a kamikaze problem with the Japanese. They were very brave, and they didn't fear death. But we did something to them that was worse than death. We destroyed their homeland, and we almost turned it to glass. That struck fear in their hearts, and the kamikaze attack stopped, and the war was over. Unfortunately, in the future, here in the United States of 2025, no one has the stomach, the heart, or the balls to make such a drastic measure. So for the foreseeable future, until someone like myself is in charge, we will be perpetual victims. I suggest that you arm up, stay vigilant, stay dangerous. This is not going to be a one-off. We know who this man is, but that's not going to help. By the time we figure out who he's been talking to and his friends, we'll be 2 or 3 other attacks in. If you can abstain from traveling for the next few days until we can figure out what's going on, please do. Remember, America first, America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.